Welcome everybody to Catalina of Light. I just want to show y'all this project I've been working on. So this is a little propagation box I use, and you know how most people use peat moss. Well, we're actually using Vermicast, and the reason for that is because the harvesting of peat moss, if you look into it, it's not really good for the environment because it releases a lot of carbon dioxide, and it's not a renewable resource. And so with Vermicast, the thing with that is that you're having a consistent, it's like the poop of the worms, like you get as much as you need, and it's good for the earth, and it's nutrient dense, so it's actually really good for beginning plants as well. And so what we did a simple, so this is my first propagation box ever, and I use a little container from the store, like when you go to Chinese store you buy food, so I use that. And then I filled it up with a layer about an inch, maybe 2 inches, an inch and a half deep. And then I took some pieces of a monstera and I put it in. And then I put this tray on top. And that's how I did my propagation box. And then for heating, it wasn't enough for that. So what I did, and this is like the bootleg version, you gotta put it on top of your radiator. Because we all don't got heat mats yet. So we just hooked it up with our radiator. That was our heat mat, and actually did pretty well. And so what I'll show you is that if you look, let's see if you get this there. Technical difficulties. Well, wow, I get this to work. What I found out was it's better to actually leave them and not to bother them, and leave the lid on the whole time. Take it off to give it some air, breathe in some carbon dioxide into it. But there was a point where I did just leave it off for a day or two. I wanted to dry out a little bit more, and I found out that I think personally, from what I experienced so far, it's better to just be over humid and just make sure you open it at least once a day. And since I've been doing that, these shoots have really been growing, and so a lot of these don't have roots yet, and you may even see the tips. Where is my finger? I can't. Alright. Sorry about that, yeah. So like this is having new growth perfect, like right there. And so if you see the tip, it's dead, it's rotting and stuff, but there's actually new growth happening while that piece is dead. And so what I've noticed is that if you see pieces of it dying, and this is what you like, your strong, sturdy plant stems that can propagate with cuttings, and house plants. I wouldn't necessarily do this with herbal cuttings, just because those like monsteras and those the monsteras and the patos, they're like a little extra sturdy. They can live a while without being attached to the plant. They're still continuing to grow, and this actually had a lot of growth. This one we're looking at right here, even compared to last week. And so they're really starting to kick it some more, and so that's good news. And all of them except for, let's see, this one is the only one that actually has a root. And I must have moved it a little bit because you can actually see it right there. That little white thing is a root. And so that's really dope. I'm really excited about that one because that's the first one that started rooting, and that's the only one that's rooting. And usually, because the moisture and all the soil is everywhere, I'd say don't worry about the roots. The rooting process, just let it happen. I try to put the nodules facing down, to just make sure that it goes that way. But even with, let's see, not that one, this one, you see that little root coming out there, from the other side. And so, plants, they know how to take care of themselves better than humans do. And so, yeah, as far as I'm considered, these plants have been here for over a month now. And they're still growing and sprouting and stuff. So I don't know if they're going to just sprout up and then kind of die. Or if they're going to sprout and then grow new roots. And then you can see this one didn't make it through. This one right here was a plant And then you see all these little seedlings. They were from the Vermicast. I create my own vermiculture. Let me know if y'all want to see Vermicast stuff. Plan on starting my own worm farm. But this is my process at the moment. It's fun, and because I create my own Vermicast, I'm planning on making a lot more soon and mixing up with coconut coir, doing coconut coir Vermicast mix versus the peat moss mix, because I personally believe the peat moss is, depending on how you, unethical if you're thinking about, I don't want to say unethical, but I wouldn't want to use peat moss if I have more sustainable options that are better for the earth. And so that's my little video about my first propagation box. And shout out to all the other folks on YouTube who's been doing it for longer than I have, and hopefully I can join you in on the mix. And it's good. Maybe I'll do another video and talk more about the benefits of, like, why would you want to do propagation boxes, and I'll do more updates and things like that. But just wanted to give you a quick video and trying to go back into my flow of things. So thank ya, and I'll catch y'all next time. Have a good one, y'all.